Yes. Oh my God, this has happened so many times with me.
Is it fake meat? So I want to be a real snob right now and rip this apart. Welcome everybody to the IMTS YouTube channel. Today we've got an exciting programming for you. We are going to do some reaction videos this is effectively the start to a reaction series that we want to put on. And today's reaction video is a programmer reacts, and the programmer being AMT's very own and very special Alka. She's going to react to some 3D printing programming fails, because you've done some 3D printing yourself and you've got a 3D printer at home, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, let's see what some of these people did wrong. The world's first
3D printed community is officially underway thanks to this industrial.
Is this what's going on in Houston?
Machine. I'm just kidding. You do not want to eat that. Meet the Vulcan 2. This 3D
Look how
printer
massive
was made by
that
a company
is.
called Icon. It weighs nearly 2 tons and can churn out an entire house in just 24 hours of print time. I wanted to learn more about this machine.
So this is definitely kind of new.
Global housing crisis. So I spoke with Icon's
like all of the
co-founder and
3D
chief
printing in like
technology officer,
the Netherlands and like, you know, in Europe, they've 3D printed a lot of bridges. But all of that was done, what I mentioned earlier, using a robot arm with some sort of material jetting, material extrusion, end of arm tooling on the end of that. This looks like a full-on additive gantry machine made for building homes. That's cool. That's definitely something different. Can you press play?
Technology officer.
What is the material?
It's it sounds like a mix of cement, concrete, and the same composition that you would find in a lava rock.
Yeah. Wow,
That's really cool. That's pretty.
Cool.
And you know, this is one of those cases where that kind of rough surface finish, how you can see each layer, is actually really charming.
Yeah.
This is in Mexico. Would you live in a 3D printed home?
I would love to.
I think I would too.
Yes.
I'd like to own one.
I was on a vacation at Outer Banks last week. The house that we were renting, on the roof, they had these special solar panels that was heating the water for the swimming pool.
Oh.
And all day you could hear the gurgling noises from the roof.
How cool would it be though if you had like a 3D printed house and you had the means to 3D print, like if you had the printer yourself, or at least could like rent one? How cool would it be is like, you know, after like living in it for 5 years, you still own the property, you know, how about after you've lived in it for a period of time, you tear it down and print a new one. Print something different.
Yeah.
Oh, now open floor plans are out of style. Let's go back to, you know, closed off rooms, and then you just print a new. That'd be really cool.
That would be fun.
The Mars habitat.
Half a century ago, we took our first step on the surface of the moon. Today, there is renewed passion to explore for our next human endeavor. Mars, the red planet, further than any human has ever been. We will protect our astronauts from radiation with a thick 3D printed shell structure.
Of lead?
Martian regolith.
What are they
Works
using?
great in compression, but does not perform well under tension. To overcome this shortfall, we have chosen to construct the pressure-retaining parts of the habitat from lightweight, inflatable parts.
This is wild.
Pressure differences.
They didn't explain how you block the
optimizing
radiation
spatial
though.
planning.
Like you need select
To create the
materials
base
to do
on
that.
Mars, we will use a two-phase approach.
Maybe the radiation's weak enough that you don't
In
need like
phase
lead
one,
shielding.
An ecosystem of 3D
They're landing
printing
on
robots
Mars?
will arrive months in advance of any
Eventually.
human explore. They will
Airless tires.
Intelligent autonomous robots will have interchangeable roles, from battery storage to scout rovers, logistics to excavational, and even 3D printing units, all integrated with multiple cameras and sensors for navigation. Surface to determine the best
Look at
regions for
it. It's
very cute.
kind of cute. I think the most exciting part is like how we could have R2-D2 in our future.
The Martian
Yeah.
soil.
Look at
It then
that.
delivers
at
the payload to the
those.
refining assemblies. Here, large chunks of Martian regolith can be processed down to a finer grain.
Where'd you get
and then
this?
delivered to the melter robots in situ. They then use concentrated microwaves to melt the regolith and extrude through the 3D printing nozzle.
Is this on Earth or on Mars?
Mars.
The shell is autonomously 3D printed, layer by layer, over
Wow.
several months by the robotic
That looks
system.
really cool. Okay. This is still far off in the future, but it's cool to know that this is being done. One thing that is not so futuristic and closer to the present time more than a lot of people think is, we saw earlier in a video the house being 3D printed with a massive additive machine. The future, not necessarily the future, it depends on your use case, but one of the big things that's in the future with additive is putting it on a robot, which has been done before with an additive material extruder on the end of a robot arm, but putting that robot arm on some sort of autonomous vehicle so then it can index or move around the workpiece that you're trying to print, then you don't need to invest as heavily into a massive 3D printer, and effectively you have something more useful and capable than a massive 3D printer. You now have a robot with additive capabilities that's mobile. I think it's the sounds of 3D printing failure. Now, when you were queuing this video up, I happened to see a Formlabs logo.
It was an ad.
Okay. We can advertise for Formlabs. I don't want to see any Formlabs fails. Those boys and girls from Southie do good work. From Cambridge. Look it up. All right, let's go. The sounds. Oh, now we get some good audio. No 3D printers were harmed much during the creation of this video. Maker's Muse. Oh! Oh no.
There. Oh, I've seen that extruder jam on my 3D printer.
It's happened to you?
Oh, many times.
So what's going on right now?
I think a lot of times if your G-code file has a very complicated code,
Yeah.
it does not work, especially on a small 3D printer.
So what we were just seeing,
Yeah.
it looked like what was going on, and it says the causes on the screen,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it looked like it was operating just fine. I didn't notice what was wrong. What was wrong with it?
But it wasn't making layers. It was just going on the same place. And then a lot of times it skips.
Okay. So it was like that stuttering that it was
Yes.
doing was the jam.
Yeah,
caused
yeah,
it. Okay.
yeah. And that does happen when either the temperature is too low or too high. So see over here, some of them.
Print detachment. Is this where like the workpiece breaks? Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my God, this has happened so many times with me. Oh, I should have taken a video.
Excessive warping.
Yeah, warping. Yes.
What can prevent the excessive warping? Is
So-
it monitoring your temperatures properly?
Also, if your base of your thing that you're printing, an object, is not big enough,
Okay.
if it's like a tiny pointed base,
Gotcha.
it will not work, right?
So one of the causes would be just a bad design.
Bad design.
Gotcha.
Yes, yeah.
Wrong knife.
Like it said, insufficient support structure.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And
Some
that's
filament?
the filament.
Wow. So filament tangling is an issue too? That just reminds me of
Yeah.
all my bad experiences fishing. Reeling in a bird's nest.
Or for me, mostly it has been if it has become dry. It's been outside in the air.
If the filament dries out?
Yeah, it does
Okay.
dry out if you
Oh,
leave
wow.
it. So we have a special vacuum seal bags that we put the filament spool in when we are not using.
Does it like a certain humidity or is it?
It has those little pockets.
Oh, the
sachets
little
that you- moisture.
do not eat.
Yes,
The silica gel packets?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, right. Oh my God, this is
AKG, that's
too
a nice
much
microphone.
slack and loading for. Yep.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
There.
Yep. That's like when I go fishing. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. If you liked what you saw today, like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to suggest us to react to something else in the future, go ahead and put that in the comments down below. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, Alka. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.